So what's up, everybody? It is finally starting to cool off here in Alabama. Highs are still in the 80s during the day, but the lows are starting to sneak into the 50s. So commuting to work, I've had to bust out my winter gear, and I've never went over my winter gear. Made a video about it. I've been using the same kit of gear for at least 4 years now, possibly as long as 6. I really can't remember. Almost as long as I've lived in this house, so somewhere around 5 years, plus or minus a little bit. So I'm gonna go over it with you. The only piece of this gear that's actually motorcycle gear would be my jacket here. This is Quartet Cascade. It's like an inner jacket to a double jacket, 2-layered jacket system. It's real good. Waterproof or water resistant on the outside. It's vented pretty well on the inside, and then also if you're not carrying anything in the pockets, it makes a pretty big difference whether or not you have the side pockets zipped up or not. And that jacket is good down to middle to low 50s if the sun's out and shining during the day, and if it's dark, like riding to work was this morning, it was, I think, 57 when I left, and I was like right on the edge of getting a little chilly after 40-minute drive. So like I said, that's the only actual piece of this gear that's motorcycle gear. And then for my lowers, I run bibs. These are Wells, come from Walmart. They've got the denim style, like Carhartt bibs. And then they've also got these like synthetic bibs. They are duck fleece and insulated on the inside. They're also, I wouldn't call them waterproof, but they're very water resistant. They may be waterproof, to be honest. These are like $70, and these are good all the way down to freezing temperature, which is about as cold as I ever ride in. I don't know if you can get them now for $70, but back when I bought them 5 or 6 years ago, $70. So when it's below that 55-ish mark, and I have to wear a thicker jacket, I just wear North Face jacket. I've had this since I was in high school, and then I was a few pounds lighter, but it works out because I would technically maybe need a medium jacket if I was going to go buy one right now, but with it being a small, it doesn't make me look fat or anything, but it's just not extra bulk to be flapping in the wind or anything like that. 2-layer jacket, so if I get hot, I can take the outside layer off. Just the rain layer. Just about everybody either has one of these, or your spouse or something may have one, and so you can kind of get an idea for how they work. They're not cheap. There's probably cheaper options out there, but I don't know if they'd be any better. The good thing about the North Face jacket is it does have cuff adjustment, so pull it over your gloves, cinch it down tight. Speaking of gloves, I just upgraded to a different winter glove. I've used these twice so far. They're just mossy oak gloves. I've had motorcycle specific gloves before with like the knuckle protection and stuff. It's not that I didn't like it. The pair I had just didn't fit that great. I got them for free in like a raffle, and they fit, but they were just a little short in the fingertips for me. I've wrecked twice on the pavement, and never once after getting up from a crash have I thought, man, I really wished I had knuckle protection on my gloves. So that's not a big concern for me. My biggest thing is they need to be warm, be windproof and water resistant, and preferably be black or gray. Don't want like some camo gloves. Some people don't care, but I wouldn't want to be riding around with camo gloves if I could help it. Or any other random color, red or blue or whatever. Like I said, I picked these up like a month ago from, I think, Walmart or Academy, can't remember which. $20, maybe $25, but that's the gloves I use, and these are good. I haven't rode with them in 30-degree weather, but the last gloves I had were Under Armour gloves, and I'd use them down to 30 degrees, and these are a little thicker, a little heavier than those were, and those were also not windproof on the outside. And these are also have like extra padding and stitching around the callus portion of your hand, and then also the inner part of your palm. So far so good. They're a little stiff, but they're also brand new. I haven't washed them or done anything. I've only worn them twice, so they'll probably break in a little bit. And then the other hot tip I got for you for winter gear is if I am going to be riding down in like 30-degree weather, hand warmer. So you can buy, just the disposable hand warmers, but I've been using these for years now. So the first one I got, actually got it from my dad. Says made in Hong Kong on it, and this one's fairly large. Now, what I do when I'm riding the motorcycle is I will stick these in a pocket. It's right over your heart. Take a deep breath, jacket pulls tight. You can feel the heat through your shirt, even with, 2 shirts on and then jacket. I mean, you can feel, they put off some heat. So this one I stole from my dad, and I used it like one time, and it was just too hot. So even inside the bag, which you're supposed to have them in, this one just got too hot, to the point where you couldn't even touch the metal. He bought this when he was like a teenager in the 70s, and that's probably why it works so good. And it's probably also might have something to do with the fact that the burner on it might be like have asbestos in it or something, who knows. But anyway, it worked too well. I literally just would feel it burning. So then I ended up getting a Zippo brand, and also that one being quite a bit larger. Granted, it's still in the bag, quite a bit thicker. It takes a lot of fluid to fill it up. Which, granted, you don't have to fill them up all the way, but it does take a lot of fluid to fill it up, and it's more than you'll need. It runs for 24 hours if you fill it up, or maybe even more. So the Zippo brand one, same rough size from this point of view, a lot thinner. It doesn't burn as hot. You can touch it with your bare hands without burning yourself, but it still gets very hot. And so if I know it's going to be a cold day of riding, I'm going out somewhere, I'm going to be out for a couple hours round trip, then I'll shoot a little Zippo fluid in one of these, light it, and like I said, every shirt that I just about wear has got a pocket. So put it in the pocket of my shirt, get my jacket on, and it is a noticeable difference. Even on a shorter ride, like some mornings if I'm really itching to ride to work and it's pushing like, that 30-degree mark, I've fired these up before work to use them just to go to work, because I know it's going to be out of fluid by the time I clock out to head home, and it's going to be warmer and I'm not going to need it. But just in that 40-minute ride, use it one day, don't use it the next day. It's roughly the same temperature, and it helps curb off that just bitter cold. So that'd be a hot tip for you guys. These things are like $12.99 at Walmart. The can of Zippo fluid's kind of expensive. If you buy Ronson brand, which is the yellow plastic bottle, it's a little cheaper. I would recommend you buy 1 bottle of Ronson fluid, and then if you like it and you're going to be using it a lot, just buy a gallon of, they call it white gas, but you can get it in the outdoor section of Walmart Academy. But it's just camping fuel. If you look at the label, it'll say white gas on there. Actually, I can grab one real quick. All right, so this is what the can looks like. 1 gallon can, and I've been using this for as long as I can remember, and it's still yay full. And it was $7 or $8 back when I bought it. It may not be that cheap now. The can is stamped with 2016 on the back, so it's lasted a long time. So anyway, white gas, camp fuel. Where's it at on here? Yeah, it says it right here. It's naphtha is the actual type of fuel, like white gas. It's just a nickname, I guess. But yeah, So that would be my hot tip for you guys. Give that a shot, see if you like it. It's cheap. The only thing that you do have to do is, maybe not every year, but every 2 years, you have to buy a replacement burner. And then anytime you go to use these for the first time, after you putting a new burner on, or the first time of the year, if you're gonna try to get through the winter season with the same burner you had from the previous year, the first few times you light it for the year, it can kind of be hard to get going. You have to light it multiple times. But if you're using it on a semi-regular basis, once every couple weeks, I would say, then it lights super easy. So yeah, check those out if you're not familiar with them. Makes a big difference. So that's the winter gear I use. I didn't go over footwear. I just pair of Ariat slip-on boots that are waterproof, good thick leather, not insulated technically, but they're not just raw leather on the inside. They've got a fabric liner on the inside, and that's also good for me down to around 30 degrees, around freezing. So yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. Like I said, my wintertime motorcycle gear is not motorcycle gear, but it seems to work pretty good for me, and it has been for years, and it will for years to come.